Hi, just thought I would show you this journal I've made for somebody in America. As you can see, it's British themed again. It's just some boards that I covered with this is Kanban paper. I've used it before. It's got like a glittery bit on the red portion, and the back I just used some paper and collaged bits and pieces, some stamps there, vintage stamps, a Rule Britannia thing, bits I've cut out of magazines and things. On the front I've used vintage game pieces to write Lisa's name. There's a little wooden crown I've put there, and these are petaloo flowers, and I've just put some buttons in the middle that are red, white and blue. Kept it quite plain, but I did use Terry from Florida sent me some of the fastenings from Tim Holtz, and they were so easy to use. I was so impressed. And then I've made a little closure there with some seam binding. Inside I've used some K&Co paper, and I think I've done the same on the back. And this is from a child's doodle book, so I cut out the frame, made a little pocket here out of some advert for some packaging that's got hunt scene on it, and then there's some different little tabs and journaling spots and a little ticket in there for her. This was an image from an old book celebrating British shopping, and it's got Britannia with the flag and a lion there, which I really liked, and I thought that was quite nice at the beginning of the book. And on the back I've backed it with some map from a leaflet for the Royal Botanical Gardens at Kew in London. I drove past there recently, and it's so beautiful around there, so I've put that in. Most of the paper in here that's dyed is tea dyed, lemon tea, and I've used different images as one of the stamped images you get when you pay for a parcel at the post office. On the back here I've stamped keep calm and carry on. This is one of the guards for around the Tower of London, and I thought he looked so dashing with all his medals on show, and his pole up with a little Tower of London on the top, so I put that in. And on the back of there I've put one of the Alice in Wonderland envelopes and a little Alice in Wonderland journaling spot. Some Cath Kidston paper. This is some pictures actually from the leaflet around Kew Gardens, how it looked sort of 100 years ago. And then I've stamped on the back. These are some bonnets that people used to wear on the canals in the turn of the century. So I've put that on there. And then on the back of there, they've put some post-it notes for her to use. Some quite English ones. Bit here from a gardening guide. An old image here of, I think this is in London, round Ludgate Circus, it says, just sort of old adverts, the big bridge or the vehicles, so put that in there. And on the back of there it's got Fleet Street, you know where the Griffin statue is, down Fleet Street. This was from a doodle book, advertising the Snowdon Mountain Railway in Wales, and it's got some nice images on, and you've got that when you get to the top, look, from the summit. This is a poster I got off the internet, image for the Women's Land Army during World War II, and on the back there I've stuck a nice image of a robin. We get lots of robins down here. An old stamp, and then I've actually used some rubber stamp and stamped London and a little royal crest, and on the back here Big Ben and a flag. This was one of the adverts for wartime posters, Your Country Needs You, so that's that. And on the back there I've put a little envelope, and in it it's got some images from World War II, cookery books, ideas for making your food last longer, or making food out of cheaper cuts of meat, or with no meat at all, to make make your food last longer. And there's a stamped image there for just some journaling. I've used here some postage stamps just as the tab on the edge of my page, and picture there from Peter Rabbit book. Thrifty Lou sent me that. That's a Kath Kidson sticker, so I put that on. And then on the back of here, stamped an image of a London bus. It's a postcard from the Royal Horticultural Society. That's one of the street party pictures after VE Day, celebrating the end of the war. And just a pretty picture of a cat. Teacup and some postage stamps there from the 50s. Some more stamped images there, and then on the back here, this is down St Paul's Cathedral, that part of the Thames, so you can see the boats and things. It's a modern postcard. This is an advert here for the Bank of Scotland from the 60s, and it's from that guide of Scotland, and so I've put a couple of things on the back there, the adverts that with it. Just a piece of writing paper, and then I've stamped an image there with a little owl. This is about William Shakespeare, about A Winter's Tale, so I've stuck that on. And then on the back, just a little journaling spot. This is a place I used to go on holiday, and that's showing the street there in Clovelly. We used to go to Devon and Cornwall a lot, my parents' favourite places, and we used to go down here, and it still looks like that today. I mean, this is from the 60s, but you could go there today and it would look exactly the same. Images there of on an old index card, just a nice piece of paper there from Happy Days from Paper Mania. Image there from the Tower of London, which has got the clock on the front, a really imposing piece. And then there's a piece of map here. This is from Ireland. Another postage stamp, and this is a stamped image there, a glamorous looking lady. And then I've used a ticket here as a tab on the side. It's an old playing card. That's the dial off a telephone, which I really like. I love the stamped image of that, so I stamped that on. Prince Charles all dressed up in his military uniform there. What's he wearing? Oh, I can't see. I think it's the Welsh Guards. This was an old cover you got, when you had your photos taken at the photographers, and they'd put your sample pictures in. So this was one of those, and I've glued it up the side, collaged some bits on it, but then left it open on this side so you can slide things in and out, which I thought was quite nice, to use it as a little pocket. And then on the back I've stuck a picture of the King and Queen at the time, during World War II, and there they are all dressed up. In fact, that might be before World War II, but just a nice picture. So that was the Queen Mother's, our Queen's mother and father. So that's quite a nice photo. Is a vintage map here I've put in there, and I've just decorated it with some postage stamps and then stamped some Roman numerals on it. And then on the back of there I've made a little pocket with a postcard in, and there's one of those vintage receipts. This again was an image from the leaflet advertising for VE Day, and everybody's celebrating at the end of World War II. It's got the flag in the background. Some more note paper. This is an image from Kew Gardens showing it in bloom, and it just looks so pretty. And then on the back of there I've put a tea-dyed doily and just a little butterfly. Page from Alice in Wonderland, bit of packaging there, which I like because it's got a map on it. And then from the envelope that came with that leaflet, I made a little tiny envelope. So I cut it down and just made a little tiny envelope and just put a little tag in it, which I really thought was quite sweet. Another vintage postcard, again of the royal family. That's on the balcony at Buckingham Palace. I don't know what they're celebrating there. Is it the Jubilee? Could be, couldn't it? From a gardening journal, some paper from a hotel, some just pretty note paper, bit more writing paper, and I've stamped the London Bridge ticket on it. There's a picture of a London bus today going past the Houses of Parliament, and there's Big Ben. A diary page there, a playing card with a Union Jack on, and then this was an advert from an old book for soap, and it shows a London street with St Paul's Cathedral in the background, and there's some old-fashioned adverts on the back too. Some more tea-dyed paper, sorry, and I put a postage stamp there. A bit from another diary with an old ticket. That's from the 70s there, because it's got 10p on it, not pounds, shillings and pence. A postcard from Scotland showing the monarch of the glen, big stag round one of the glens there, and another bit from a journal, a train ticket. This is another window at the cathedral at one of the King's College in Cambridge. Just so nice, so I put that in. From 1961, that is. This is a advert for an old advert from the magazines I got advertising, showing old advertisements, and so I just left that plain on the back. These were some old postcards I had that showing knitting patterns and things from the 60s, and so I put that in to make her laugh. Look at that, with all those tassels on, how gorgeous. Eh? And then this is from a calendar, and it was a picture of the Beatles, so I've made that into an envelope, and in there I've took some postcards for her. This was a business card from a restaurant I went to in London on my birthday a couple of years ago. And here's a picture here of one of the bridges in London across the Thames, and there you can see Tower Bridge. And if you think about it, just over here, that's where the Tower of London is. So it's sort of a bit further down the Thames. And then on the back of there, this is a picture of some council offices, I think it's Birmingham, and in there I've just put a tea-dyed tag that I've stamped some images on. And on the back of the book here I've collaged different pieces, a map, made in England. There's again, that's a picture of advertising for some metal polish, and they're cleaning the crown, a London post box, Big Ben, a little boy dressed up as a guard, British Bulldog stamps, that type of thing. So I put that in there, and I'm hoping to get that in the post to her today, and then I will post the video once I know she's got it. So if you've got any questions, please leave them. Thank you. Bye-bye.